Yo, what up, what up? It's your man, Big Brandon Carter. In this video, I talked to my boy, Sal from Mind Pump Media. We're going to show you how to build muscle and stay ripped all year round. Yo, what up, what up? It's your man, Big Brandon Carter. I am here in San Jose, California with my man, Sal from Mind Pump. And what we want to talk about today is, is a concept I've been talking about for a long time, which is micro cutting and micro bulking. Sal calls it mini cutting and mini bulking. Exactly the same thing, but I didn't realize that that's exactly. We were just on the same page, man. We were on the same page with that, and people, Sal, people have crucified me for saying this. They're like, "Oh, you can't put on enough muscle in that little bit of time." And like, it's not about putting on as much muscle as you can. It's about putting on quality. You know what? I want you to explain your philosophy on mini cuts and mini bulks.
Absolutely. So the old way that we used to cut or bulk was we would go on these prolonged periods of diet. Like, I'm going to go in a calorie surplus. I'm going to bulk for the next 3 months. I'm going to try and put on 15 or 20 pounds, or I'm going to cut for the next 3 or 4 months. I'm trying to get super shredded. What we need to understand is that the body is an adaptation machine. Your body's always seeking to adapt. Now, when you drop your calories, you are in a deficit, your body's burning body fat. The problem is your body will quickly adapt to that, and you'll get what's called adaptive thermogenesis. In fact, they've done studies on modern hunter-gatherers. These are tribes that today live like hunter-gatherers, like we did thousands of years ago. And what the studies did was they were looking to see how many calories do these hunter-gatherers burn. So they hooked them up to sophisticated equipment. They did some interesting testing on them to see what their metabolic rates look like. Now, they thought to themselves, well, these hunter-gatherers, they're moving like crazy all the time. They should be burning way more calories than the average American. What they found, though, was shocking. What they found was that these people weren't burning nearly as many calories as they thought. But if you think of it from an evolutionary standpoint, it makes perfect sense. There's no way your body could be burning 6,000-7,000 calories a day and you could survive as a hunter-gatherer. Our bodies evolved to be able to adapt to these ups and downs, and that's one of the things that happens when you diet for too long. I get clients all the time, bikini competitors, ex-bikini competitors or physique competitors who come to me. I had a bikini girl come to me. She'd done 3 competitions. She was 130 pounds. She was doing an hour and a half of cardio every day, eating 1,200 calories a day. Anything over 1,200 calories and she'd gain body fat. Her metabolism had gotten so slow from the chronic dieting, her body had adapted so strongly to that anything over that, she would gain body fat. Now, on the flip side, I see guys who've been on these bulks forever, and after the first 5 pounds of muscle, everything's body fat. They just start getting body fat. Studies will show that when you dramatically increase your calories, you start to notice insulin resistance in as little as a week. Your body literally starts to adapt that quickly. But we do know that if you bump your calories, you get an anabolic, a muscle building effect. And we do know if you cut calories, you start burning body fat. So how do we get around that problem? Enter mini cuts, mini bulks, or as you call them, micro cuts, micro bulks. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to take advantage of how the body responds, but then switch out of it before it adapts. So instead of cutting for 3 months, cut for maybe 2 to 3 weeks, and then go on maybe a small bulk or a small maintenance, and then go back on the cut. So if you're long-term, let's say your goal is to lose 20 pounds, maybe 3 weeks of a deficit, 1 week of maintenance or slight surplus, 3 weeks of a deficit, it's keeping the metabolism stoked and the fire hot.
It's almost like maybe it's almost like calorie cycling. I don't know if anyone says, people say that? Is that a term people use?
Carb cycling.
I heard carb cycling, but have you heard calorie cycling?
Yes.
It's kind of like what we're talking about.
Similar. So what bodybuilders will do is they'll do carb cycling, or they'll give someone a cheat day. And that's because through experience, they've seen that when they do that, the body becomes more effective. We're just taking it to a whole new level. So if you're trying to build and bulk, go on a calorie surplus for about 3 weeks. After that 3-week period, though, you should go back to maintenance or even a slight deficit for a short period of time. When you go back to your bulk, you're going to notice a crazy effect.
Yeah.
In fact, if you're watching right now and you've ever been on a diet or you've ever competed, one of the most anabolic periods you'll ever experience
Waiting for this.
is post-diet.
Yeah.
You start introducing those calories again, muscles swell, you feel incredible in the gym, mini bulks, mini cuts. We're trying to take advantage of what's happening there.
And this, when people start doing this, when my clients start doing this, what they notice is they're able to stay lean all year round. It's like, if you see these pro bodybuilders, they're working out with hoodies, in the off season. There's no off season to my life. I pretty much try to stay lean all year round. I mean, there's levels of leanness, right? But this allows me to put on muscle, right? And then as soon as I feel like I'm starting to get a little fat, or like putting on too much body fat, then I go on a cut. But even more importantly than that is what I notice is what you said, you alluded to. I think when guys want to build muscle, the first thing I usually have them do is go on a cut, like go on a reduce calories and then go. I put them straight into a bulk. Do you do that? Like if the goal is to build muscle, first get cut. And 2 reasons. I want your take on this. One is if they're already a little fat or they're not as lean as they want to be, well, those fat cells are just going to grow, right? So they're not going to look as impressive if they put on a few pounds of muscle because they have fat over them, and they'll get more fat. But if they get even leaner first, one, the muscle will look more impressive, right? When you put on, if you're lean, you put on 5 pounds of muscle. That's a big difference,
Absolutely.
And also it's more anabolic if you come on it straight after a cut. Right?
Think of it as priming your body. Yeah. You are priming your body so that it's ready for those extra calories to turn them into muscle. Because that's what you want, right? You're not trying to go on a bulk so you can get fatter. No. You're trying to go on a bulk to build muscle. Yeah. One of the best ways you can prime your body to do that is to do a little cut before you go into the bulk. And watch what happens. It's just the way you respond is like, it's a whole new thing. The competitors know this. You take a physique competitor post show, that first week of eating like crazy, their muscles they look crazy.
Without exception.
Yes.
The people who want to type in and argue this have never done it. They just never done it. Like with everybody I know who done a huge cut for like a show, as soon as they go back out, soon as they start eating in a surplus, they put on some muscle. Some people get fat, but why do some people get fat?
Because they keep pushing it past that point.
That's like a week or two, right?
That's yes, that's exactly what we're talking about. If you keep pushing it past it, look, I guarantee you people watching have experienced this. I just went on a bulk. The first few weeks of the bulk, man, I'm getting stronger, I'm feeling great. As I keep pushing it, now I get less and less, I get diminishing returns, and it just becomes more and more body fat. Now I've gained 20 pounds by the time I go on my long cut. How much muscle have I really gained? Many times, nothing.
Yeah, sometimes they have to diet back down for 6 months or whatever.
Exactly.
And then they lose a lot of that, the muscle that they built. But this way, you can put on some muscle without putting on a lot of fat. It's almost like you're taking I think of it like I'm taking 2 steps forward if I'm trying to build muscle. I take 2 steps forward, maybe 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step.
Yes.
But I stay lean all year round, never get fat, and man, I don't even think it's slower. Because I don't think it's slower.
No, it's going to be. You're actually going to progress much faster. So let's say your goal is for the whole year is the bulk. Okay, I want to gain 15 pounds this year. And this is what it looks like. You would start the year off with 3 weeks of bulk, 1 week of slight deficit. 3 weeks of bulk, 1.5 weeks of deficit. 2 weeks of bulk, and you would just alternate, just up and down, up and down. For the most part, you're in a bulk for the rest of the year, for the whole year. That's you're averaging out to a bulk. But you're injecting these mini cuts to keep your body sensitive to the proteins, the fats, carbohydrates you're eating, to keep your body being anabolic. At the end of the year, you will end up with more muscle that you keep than if you had done a long bulk and then a long cut at the end. That's a fact.
And you stayed lean all year.
You
stayed lean all year.
Correct.
Now, for people are going to say, "Hey, man, I'm not going to. How much muscle are you going to really put on in 3 weeks?" They're going to say, "You can't put on enough muscle in 3 weeks." What do you say to that?
So if you send your body the right signal, muscle will come on you. Now, are you going to gain a ton of muscle in a 3-week period? No, but if you accumulate that over the course of a year, you're going to build some muscle. it's not unheard of for a beginner or intermediate person to gain anywhere between 10 to 15 pounds of lean body mass with good exercise program. You can't work out like an idiot doing your squats, your deadlifts, your bench press, your overhead press, training with good frequency. Following this protocol, 10 to 15 pounds of real lean body mass is not unheard of. Now, if you're really advanced and you've already been pushing yourself kind of to that limit, it's going to be a little bit less. Of course, genetics are going to limit you. But yeah, I have beginners gain 15 pounds in a year. I have them do that all the time. That's actually more common than you would think.
Yo, man, yeah, seriously, like for me, it's like it's less, right? You know, because I've been training for so long. You know, I'm not gonna get. I don't foresee myself getting 10 pounds this year, you know, or within a year. But that's only because I've been training for like almost 19 years. You said 3 weeks of bulk, 1 week of cut. I want you to take on this. The way I've been doing it and the way I do for a lot of my clients is I say first just get pretty lean as you want to get, right? Maybe, and then bulk, right? And just bulk until
you feel it,
until your abs start to fade, or you're not looking as lean, and then going to cut until you lean again, and then like kind of just all feel. What do you think about it?
Actually, no. I like that. The reason why I didn't recommend that is because they don't have the luxury of you watching them. Like you can watch your client, you know when to get them out of it, and that would be ideal. If you know your body and you're objective, because I know a lot of guys who want to bulk, they have a tough time being objective, and they'll be like, no, I want to bulk for another couple weeks. You got to be objective about it. But if you can just listen to your body, that's the way I would do it. You know, the way I would do it is I would push it until I noticed I'm getting diminishing returns. Then I'd go on a cut, then I'd go back on the bulk, and little by little step ladder my way towards progress. But you know, again, your clients have you, so you can tell them. Exactly.
Yeah, no, I like that, man. You know, I got this from Bill Phillips. When he did it, he called it anabolic burst cycling in the 90s, but it was a strict 2 weeks on, strict 2 weeks off, and I had to alter that because I'm an ectomorph, so 2 weeks of cutting was too much for me back then, and 2 weeks of bulking wasn't enough. So when I was younger, it ended up being like a month of bulking, 1 week of cutting, kind of similar to what you're talking about. And I'm older now, so that it's a little different. You know, like it's probably maybe it's more inverse, but yeah, man, you got to go to feel because everybody's gonna be a little different.
Exactly.
Nice. Excellent. Yo, man, I really thank you, man. I feel vindicated because at first I thought I was the only person thinking this, who's saying this anymore. You know, but it's good to hear someone who's like-minded and who's actually got results with the same method with other people, man. Listen, you guys want to know, want to get some more information like this. These guys have an amazing podcast, all consistently one of the top podcasts, fitness podcasts on iTunes, Mind Pump Podcast, and they have a YouTube page. Make sure you check them both out, and we'll put the links in the description, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.